Ooh, ooh, I have a frog in my throat. What else is new? It feels like it's been quite some time since I just casually came here and had a conversation with you. So if you're new around here, today's Transformational Tidbits, where I come on and tell you a little bit about what's going on in my mind in hopes that it'll support you in your growth and development. And what seems to be coming to me, especially today, and especially after having gone through a month or so, I would say, of not really feeling like myself and feeling like I was a bit in the weeds and feeling like things were very, very overwhelming. I have a lot going on in my personal life. Some things, I'm cool sharing. Obviously, I'm planning a wedding. That's a big, huge thing. And it's a big, huge, overwhelming thing. But aside from that, I had some other things going on. And I just felt like I couldn't handle anything anymore. And when that happens, when you get to that point where you feel like you just can't take another thing, where the pressure is so much on your heart, so much on your chest, and no matter what you do, especially for me as a therapist, I've been doing personal growth and development work. Obviously, I'm trained, I'm licensed in supporting other people, but there are times in your life where the pressure feels like it's mounting so much that all of your tools appear to be like really out of reach. And I see that a lot with my clients as well, that like they know they have this incredible, basket or toolbox of tools that we've cultivated together, strategies to be able to manage and deal with difficult situations or challenges, to manage anxiety, whatever the case may be, because that's something that you and I do collaboratively when we work together, is really develop that toolbox and make sure you have something that's easily accessible, that is always a go-to. So when you encounter some of these things, you know exactly what to do, or you have some options and you can kind of like go through your checklist in your head. Okay, did I try grounding? Did I try deep breathing? Like whatever the case may be, everybody is really unique. But sometimes when you feel like this insurmountable pressure, is insurmountable the right word? I don't even know. I'm just like throwing words out there. But when you feel that pressure, it almost feels like they're just outside of your reach. So, and this can feel very, very isolating. That's the biggest thing. Even though I have 100 supports and so many people that I can go to and turn to, it feels really isolating. And I'll be talking a little bit more about this in the next few videos, about what it means to be kind of like messy and in the weeds, and some strategies that can help you hang on, and some anchors. I will be talking about that soon. But the point of this video is that can feel isolated. It can feel very lonely, like you're the only one in the world that's experiencing this. And to some degree, you are the only one that's experiencing this, because we are all individuals and we're one in a million, and there isn't a single other human being like us in the whole entire world. So the way we experience the world and how we experience these challenges can never be understood by anybody else. So then that adds like another layer of like isolation, and you can get in your head really easily. And sometimes like the problem with the brain is that it can work for us or it can really work against us, because our brains haven't evolved at all. These are still living in the Stone Ages, when, we had to consider every single worst case scenario in order to survive. So when you're in this period of feeling this like deep overwhelm, like you're the only one in the whole world, your brain will start to continue to feed you that narrative. It's almost like it becomes the evidence to support that, yeah, you are alone in this. It's like, oh yeah, you're alone. There's no one else is going through this. Like you're probably pretty crazy. Anyone else could handle this. And you start to create and weave the story in your own head that further propagates this feeling of loneliness and isolation. And then you start to sort of shut down, and you feel like you can't talk to anybody about it, despite having lots of support systems around you. And this is where therapy really comes in handy. And I know for me, I work with a therapist on a monthly basis. I have to see her every month to keep my license, but just to go over like what's going on with me, my business, all that stuff. But I also have a coach as well too. And she was amazing, because I knew it was one person that was completely third-party objective, that, didn't have anything to do with sort of what was going on in my personal circle. And she was able to be kind of a guiding light and anchor, and a person that I could bounce ideas off of when I felt like I was in the complete pit. So, and essentially this is where a therapist or a counselor comes in handy as well too, because it's like somebody that's so far removed from things that they can give you the validation you need, and you're more likely to trust them, and you're more likely to feel safe with them, because they're not in your inner circle. And of course you want to feel really close to your inner circle, but there's some things, especially when you're in a shame spiral, or when you're in a period of guilt or overwhelm, it's like you don't even want to tell anybody anything about this, because you're already feeling like you're crazy and you're all alone in this, and nobody could ever possibly understand what you were going through. So that can be really isolating in and of itself. So it's important to have people or community or somebody, someplace or somewhere you can go where you could offload some of the stuff that's going on in your head and in your heart, and get it off your chest, because this will continue to spiral. This will continue to tell you the same story over and over and over again. It's got no new material. I always say that to my clients, like this just goes on repeat. Whatever you program it with, whatever the narrative is in that moment, it just says it over and over and over and over and over again. It doesn't have the capacity to do anything but provide you with worst case scenarios so that you can be on guard. But the problem is if you're always on guard, you're not really living life to the fullest. You're living life from a perspective of fight or flight. And this is what I see in a lot of my clients too when we first start working together. The nervous system is completely shot because you've been living in survival for so long. And we then have to kind of emotionally dump and sift through all of the things that have been, exacerbating the narratives in the head to be able to reset the nervous system to get to a place of calm, which is why having people in your corner that potentially aren't your family is really important. And that's why I wanted to create community. That's why I have, YouTube community, Instagram, Facebook group, all of these things, TikTok community, because I want to always have a place that is safe, where you can speak your mind, where you feel like you can say things openly and you don't have to worry. So that you can begin that process of emotional offloading so that you can see more clearly and can follow your intuition and be one with the zone of intuitive flow more clearly than if you're holding on to that narrative. And sometimes saying things out loud takes their power away. I always say this to my clients too, write it down. Write down what the intrusive thought is. Put it on a piece of paper, because seeing it and thinking it are two different things. When you see it, you're like, wow, okay, I can see how that's not true. But when you think it, you're like, this is 100% true. So these are just kind of like a few tips that you can use when you have some of these moments. But I mean, for me personally, I wanted to come here and validate that experience that you're having right now, where you feel like you're alone. And even though it might feel like that, trust me, you are not alone. There are a lot of people that are going through similar experiences. And that's why, this Facebook community in particular that I have is so vital, because it's a private place filled with women from all walks of life, from all over the place, that are all looking to redefine and rediscover who they are. It's like one similar journey. There's like a real beautiful cohesiveness to that, where we're all in the same energy and we can really lift each other up. But there's got to be an element of like, I trust that I can share my truth here and I won't be ridiculed. And I can promise you that if you share your truth, and if somebody violates that truth or says anything about that truth, they will be immediately evicted, because there's no room for that here. And I want to make sure that I create a safe space for as many women as humanly possible. So that is what this is all about. And again, please know you are not alone in any of this, that I've got your back. If you're going through something or you're experiencing something that feels really difficult or feels really heavy, please feel free to message me. Perhaps there's some work that you and I can do, or perhaps there's some light that I can provide for you, or some perspective. But yes, that is all I've got for you today. I thought this was going to be quick. Nah, never quick. 8 minutes, but what else is new? But anyways, I'm going to go and get some work done, but I'm happy to be able to provide you with safety, and I'll see you soon.